And thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael Miller. Our guest today is Frank Calderon from the Solid Waste Department of Miami-Dade County. Thank you for being here, Frank.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
So let's get the good business out of the way.
Okay.
The county seems like you're looking for drivers.
Right now, yes, we've announced it. It's actually been open for a couple of weeks. I believe the 10th of March. Today's the 4th of March, so you still have a few days to apply if you're interested. And yeah, it's a great job.
And people, where should they go to find out more information about it?
Miami-Dade.gov/jobs, JOBS, and then look for Waste Truck Driver Operator, which is the official title we give it.
So there could be other jobs available in other departments.
Yes,
and they could be truck drivers in that department. But
Yes.
for the solid waste department, you have some openings. So tell us about let's start with the hours. What are the hours and days for these drivers?
the hours they typically they have to report around 6:30, 6:45 or so. Check their trucks, check in with their supervisor, and then they leave. They're not allowed to leave the yard where the trucks are parked before 7 a.m. They get paid for a full day. Of course, there's a caution here. They get paid for a full day even if they finish before 8 hours are up. However, that doesn't mean, hey, I can skip whole neighborhoods so I can finish. You will get written up. They will go back. You have to pick up every home, and you have to do a good job. Make sure you don't leave a mess behind, that sort of thing. Those are the expectations on the job.
And when you said it's where the trucks are located. So where does the county keep its trucks for this department?
We have truck staged in several locations, strategically located, so they're close to the areas they have to pick up. We have truck staged up north. We have truck staged in the central area of Miami-Dade County and down south as well, in a couple of different places down south, because south is really big.
So in the evenings, the trucks get serviced. They get fuel put in. Fuel gets put in them. Right?
Well, the driver, it's not just a passive thing. The driver, that's part of their responsibility.
To say,
hey, up for the next day, so it's ready to go.
And this number is enormous, but how many stops will the average trash truck driver do in their workday?
On an average day, between 1,000 to about 1,200. So if you want to split the difference, about 1,100.
Are those automatic transmissions?
Yes.
So they get to develop their leg muscles. Right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so the county does have at least one all electric vehicle.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
The electric truck does a route, I believe, in Doral. And yeah, it uses 100%. It's plug-in, so it's 100% electric.
It's
very quiet.
Yes, but when it goes in reverse, we know what it does.
Oh yeah, beep beep, like any other vehicle, any large vehicle that goes in reverse.
And I think that it's great when we're inside our offices. Sometimes if I'm sitting closer to the outside door,
you can hear the beep.
I hear people backing up, and typically that means they're about to come into here or it's across the street. But it's a great reminder there's a
Safety
truck nearby.
first, yeah.
And you want to tell us about the benefits?
Yes. Well, the starting pay, and I just looked at it. I don't remember exactly how much. I can tell you it's actually gone up. The first time we started talking about this, I remember it was about 39,000 a year. It's about 45,000 now, starting pay. And there's plenty of opportunities for overtime. You get all the county benefits. Health, as of COVID, health you get like right away. You don't have to wait several months or whatever. You get it right. That wasn't even the case when I started with the county in the year 2000. You get dental, vision. There's even legal if you're interested. There's short-term and long-term disability insurance. A lot of benefits.
So the benefits that they offer to the truck drivers, the same benefits that are offered to everybody that's on the county.
Pretty much, yeah.
And how many people are in the solid waste department?
About as many as we pick up houses. I want to say about 1,100, 1,200 in that neighborhood.
And there are different positions that are not necessarily available, but what are some of the positions that somebody works for the solid waste other than being a trash or garbage truck driver?
Well, there's my job, communications manager, where I get to talk about the good things my department does. We have, administrative people, who have accounting people. We have people who have an accounting background or similar background that work on budget. We have engineering people, and construction. We have We have the people that drive not just the garbage trucks. We have the people that drive the bucket trucks and the grapple trucks. We have the people that attend like customer service at the trash and recycling centers, for example, the TRCs. We have a lot of different
I got to
positions.
tell you,
We have mosquito control too, by the way.
oh, I admire those guys that are in the trash recycling centers. They're dealing with every 30 seconds they got somebody new to deal with, and all day long, and everybody asking probably basically the same questions,
Yeah.
and everybody trying to cover up their stuff, right? They must go, oh, look at this stuff on there. So if people think they can hide that in their trash, they can't hide it.
No,
right?
they ask to take a look when you're bringing.
Is that right?
Yeah, they generally.
So you can't bury any bodies, stuff like that.
No.
Right? When people take their pickup trucks and go to the trash recycling center, and what type of things can they take with them?
They can take old furniture. They can take yard waste. Those are typically some of the biggest items that are brought in. Old appliances can be brought in. They can bring a small amount. I want to say the limit is 3 cubic yards, and a cubic yard is about the size of a washing machine. So 3 washing machines worth of construction and demolition debris. The theory behind that is they don't want commercial people using it. This is only for residential customers. But they imagine that some people are handy and may have, fix a bathroom, put in a new bathtub type of thing. So that's a good amount for that. That'll cover that.
And if somebody can come with their pickup truck 4 feet higher, they can bring it all over there, right? Or just a couple things.
No, I believe 4 feet high. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was much younger, I would enjoy doing that. Let's see how we can squish this thing down. We'll get over there. Remember, you got to take the stuff. This is all self-help. You get checked in, and you got to back your truck up right to the edge
just
and
throw
look
everything
down,
over. Yeah.
right? And then there's a big
container truck.
roll
off,
and you fill it up, and you can look at everybody's trash. All right. And then later on during the day, many times a day, I'm sure truck drivers come and they load that up.
Yes.
And then
that's another job, by the way.
Yes. And what do they do with it then?
That goes to either a transfer station or where it gets transferred for final disposal, or straight to one of our landfills.
So what is a transfer station?
Transfer station is kind of like an in-between a waste station. It's basically it's to save people from having to drive. Our landfills, for example, South Dade and North Dade landfill, they're kind of remote. And if you're in a neighborhood picking up waste, the truck holds about half of your day, half the day capacity. It would be too much for you to have to drive all the way north or south to drop off. So we have the transfer stations that are a little bit closer, and you can drop off there and then go back out and finish your route.
Let's talk about recycling. And recycling people, the way they get into the programs is they get a blue card.
Yes.
They put out their stuff that's supposed to be recycled in there.
Yes.
So the private company that has that contract, every 2 weeks they go and they pick up your 1 or 2 blue cards.
Yes.
Tell us that process, how it moves from there to wherever it's going.
Well, it gets picked up at the curbside. It's every 2 weeks for most of our customers. It's done by contractors that do the work for us, the collection for us. It's taken to I believe Waste Management Inc. is the company that handles the materials once they're collected. And it's taken to one of their transfer stations, or it can be taken directly to their facility, the MRF, as we call it, which stands for Materials Recovery Facility. It's in Pembroke Pines, and it goes there eventually. And then from there, at that point, it gets sorted out. The plastic bottles stay and go one place.
How does it get sorted?
It's mostly by machine. It's there are different type of what we call star screens instead of a conveyor belt. These little devices, like they look like wheels, but they shaped with like little points on them, like a star, and that'll help like the cardboard ride above everything else, so that the cardboard can get sorted out. You have optical scanners that'll sort out the plastic. You have magnets to take the ferrous steel cans, and you have an eddy current, which is like an electrical type of current that'll actually repel the aluminum cans, so that they go in the right place.
So some people, when I talk to them about recycling, they just want to know like 3 or 4 things that they can recycle without a problem. So what are some of those things?
Food and beverage cans and metals are always always in good demand and always the best materials to recycle. Cardboard, paper, At this point, we're taking even pizza boxes, which we used to on the past, as long as they're lightly soiled, not overly greasy. Um, um, we also take, when it comes to plastic, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Plastic bottles, basically. The only exception is yogurt and butter tubs. But other than that, plastic bottles, it should have a narrow neck,
So
and it
if
could
I
be
go to a store and I buy a single bottle of whatever it is, all right, that's recyclable.
yes,
You
it can be detergent. It can be or it can be a drink like water or a soda.
So in the old days, what we used to hear is when they would all go in the dump, they said, "Well, at least take the top off. It'll only take 100 years then to deteriorate." But that's not necessary if it's going to be recycled.
You can have the top on or off with the plastic bottles. The only thing we typically ask is if you're going to keep the cap on, to crush the bottle first, because what happens if the bottle is empty and it's intact, and something squeezes it at the facility, the bottle cap can go flying off and
So
hurt
people
somebody.
have told me that have moved to Miami. They said, "Listen, where I used to live, they recycle plastics, right? And how come they don't here?" So what should I tell them?
We do. It's just that we only recycle specific types of plastic
Right.
bottles, basically.
Right. And the plastic bags we get in the grocery store or the drugstores type of stuff, that's not recyclable.
Well, that one is a yes or no. It's not recyclable, and we can't accept it in our program,
You so you-
but it can be recycled.
so so they can go to the big box stores. So they have the boxes out front.
A lot of those stores, the grocery stores, also have them.
I've seen. I went the other day. There were like 3 or 4 bottles, cardboard, plastics.
Just make sure and we run into a similar issue. If you're going to do that, we just ask that you just put it in the right container, because that can be a problem too. If you put it in the wrong container, they'll figure it out. It's too much. That's where we run into problems with recycling.
So and if somebody's cart is broken, whether it's the blue one or the green one, what should they do?
Just call 311.
Doesn't matter either one.
Either one. I can't tell you, when I drive my son to school in the morning, how many carts I see that are damaged, and I'm just like doing this number here the whole drive. I'm like, just call 311. I think it's even printed on some of the carts.
So I see at some of the larger houses where they have many green carts. If somebody says, "Gee, I got so much garbage," all right, what should they do?
Well, we have a program where everybody's entitled to one cart, green cart. If you need more, there is a fee associated with it, and it's not a one. It's an annual fee based on the fact that you're going to be producing more garbage for us to pick up. So it's a $160 fee annually for each additional green garbage cart that you have. You can visit our website, miamidade.gov/solid waste, or call 311 for more information.
And when I've told people about that, well, don't I already pay my taxes? Yes, you get a green cart. So if you get the next one, they get 2 pickups a week for $154 a year, right?
Basically, yeah.
So that's a lot of
Get
pickups.
picked up more, garbage. It's and the largest size is 96. I don't know how many cubic yards that's supposed to
So
be.
it's
But
like
96 gallons,
100 plus pickups.
roughly.
Yeah.
You're getting double the pickups of your neighbors.
And so for $154, so it's it's $1.50 each, right? Or they can put it in their truck and they can take it, but not food. Right?
No, they don't take food at the transfer sites.
Right.
No.
So can we talk a little bit about composting? I know we mentioned it earlier. So tell us about that process of composting. What product goes into this compost pile or those machines?
Well, I'm not actually a composting expert, but I can tell you that we do have a program. We work, and it's a partnership, really. We work with the folks from the Parks Department, because they supply the location, and it's actually done virtually, but they supply the location where the person who does the workshop goes. And then somebody from UF-IFAS, they have master gardeners, and they'll do the workshop at the parks. It's typically virtual, but they sometimes do in person. And what happens is, if you're a Miami-Dade resident and you successfully complete the workshop, you will be given a voucher for as long as supplies last, but we generally are able to get most people a voucher for a free now I can't think of a composting bin. I couldn't think of what it was called.
Composting bin.
Yes.
Where you would put your food products
Yes.
into that. And that's for outside.
Yes.
And you put it in there, and then magically over a certain period of time, it develops into.
Yes, as long as you're doing it right, which hopefully if you take the workshop, you'll learn how to do it right.
So I mentioned to you earlier, after all these conversations that I've had here, I was talking to my wife about what can we do. And so she went out and she got this composter. It's about the size of an air filter like this. You put your food products in there, very quiet. Once a day or twice a day it goes on. There's not it's no smell at
It
all.
does the turning on its own.
And it
Wow,
dehydrates it, right? And it gets lighter, no smell, and then it beeps when you
wow,
when you take stuff out, and they will tell you how many pounds of food you just uh,
wow,
recycled, if you will.
wow.
And you take the stuff and you take it and you go and put it in your garden. What a great feeling to be able to do that. And then I understand there's a whole range of pricing on that stuff. We got one that suited our family, and it made me much aware of so often we take our food and landscaping products and we put it into the trash, and then it just goes into the dumpsters somewhere, all right? And when we could keep it at home and make our plants a little bit better. So I specifically put them in a couple plants so I can watch them over the next couple months and see what happened. But it's a really good feeling that folks can get when you do your share, in doing that. So if somebody wants to learn more about what Miami-Dade County does in the recycling and the trash business, where should they go?
Miami-Dade.gov/solid waste. All one word.
And so you mentioned that you'd started in 2000
With the county, yeah.
with the county. So you have a 25-year anniversary coming up sometime in the next 11
Oh,
months.
you know what? In August. That's
In
right. August. I started with the county. I started water and sewer, and then I came to solid waste in 2009.
And people want to know. And before you went to the county, what did you do?
Oh, I worked. I had actually the jobs I had before. Actually had two jobs. I worked at a Spanish Catholic radio station, Radio Paz, and I worked primarily to help with the Heat games. At the time, they had the Miami Heat games on their station, and also worked at Miami-Dade College, which in media relations, which was part time.
By the way, we had a visit from some folks from Miami-Dade College from the journalism department. We're so happy to be able to bring them over here and just chatting with them. And the radio station, the Catholic radio station, they still do that or not?
Do they still do?
They
No,
still
I
have
don't
the
think they
radio
have. I
station.
don't think they have. They still exist, but I don't think they have the Miami Heat games, and they've changed the format a bit.
Because I think I recall that. All right, so and I know this is only March, April, May, June.
Oh yeah.
What do we have coming up in a couple months?
Oh yeah. Nobody wants to think about it.
Yeah, we're trying to enjoy this weather, but it's around
Yeah.
the corner.
Yeah.
Which is
Hurricane season.
Frank, it just seems like yesterday.
I know. We just finished the last one. We breathed a sigh of relief, and here we go again.
Yes. By the way, the lot next to us, it's a 3-acre lot, and an acre and a half didn't have a house on it, but they had a lot of huge trees. So I went and talked to the new owner. I said, "You think you could take down some of these trees because it's like coming over the house,
Oh,
right?" And which they did. And by the way, if your neighbor's tree falls, it's on you. It's not on them, unless it's rotted. So, listen, go around your property, March, April, May, all right, take a look at it, figure out what you need to do. And sometimes people wind up some pretty big piles of landscaping. So tell us what they should do.
Yes. Well, before you have the pile of landscaping, at least before you set it out, you have to call. You can request a bulky pickup. Sorry. But you have to make the request in advance of placing the stuff out at the curbside. But this is probably every year it's the same thing. We tell people, please do it now before the season comes into play and becomes more difficult. Appointments are I don't know because I haven't checked, but I imagine appointments are available now because now it's by appointment. You pick, there's a pull down menu if you go online, shows you what days are available. You can pick that day, whatever day is convenient for you, and you're allowed to place the stuff out 3 days before, or you can call 311 and they can look it up for you and tell you. But it's important to do it now. If you know you've got trees or other debris in your yard, do it now because when hurricane season starts getting announced, you get a rush, and then heaven forbid storm starts to look like it might come our way. The big rush happens, and you're going to find that the dates are all gone except for after the storm, and then it doesn't do you any good.
So easy to use website, or people could call 311 if they
Yes.
can't do it or don't want to do it. and also a great time to look in your garages. If there's stuff that you need to throw out, they can do that.
Yes.
Tell us about chemicals, what people should do when they're cleaning out their garage and they go, look at
Speaking
all
of
this
garage,
stuff.
garage, the kitchen, the typical places where you find home chemicals you can't get rid of anywhere else. They should not be put into bulky waste. They should not be put in your garbage, for sure. They should not go in the recycling, even less. They should not go to the TRC. But we have 2 home chemical collection centers where you can bring stuff like, batteries are a big one, because they can actually cause fires in some of our trucks. Stuff like old pesticides, old fertilizer, stuff like that. And now we have, because we've always had the 2 centers. They may not be close to to you, but we now have mobile events where we go to one of our TRCs. We'll go one Saturday, and every couple of weeks or so. The schedule, I think they've already done the first one February 22nd. They might be due for another one coming soon. The schedule's available
That's
on
for
our
batteries
website.
and stuff.
For
And-
all the
oh,
home chemical stuff, instead of going to the center, you might find that one of these mobile events is actually closer. In my case, it is. We do it at the TRC, the Sunset Kendall TRC, which is on 107th Avenue between Sunset and Kendall, and that's close to my house. And what I do is I just hold on to the stuff that I know I need to get rid of, and as soon I find out, okay, they're doing it this weekend, perfect, I'll go there this Saturday.
so people can find that on the information on your web.
Miami-Dade.gov.
And also you do some
Solid waste.
you do some social media stuff. I think I've
Yes,
seen
we
that.
typically post right before one of these
Hats off
events.
to the creators of that. I enjoy watching them. All right. So whoever it is, way to go. All right. And so we're getting ready to wrap up here. So again, this is March. So tell us what one thing that somebody could do to improve the service that they get from Miami-Dade County.
Just be mindful of the carts, for example. Be mindful of when you use your carts. Make sure that everything goes inside. You can close the lid. Make sure that you put in correct items. Please, especially with a recycling cart. I can't tell you how many pictures I've seen of carts with the wrong items. A lot of times sticking way out. One of my favorite is those little battery powered cars that little kids drive around their parents watch, and they only go like 3 miles an hour. Somebody actually took a Hummer, a yellow Hummer, and mashed it into one of our recycling carts, and of course it didn't go all the way in, so the lid, you could see it sticking out. And that's just my quote unquote favorite all-time wrong item for recycling.
And people should know they shouldn't try to jam stuff in there, because when they pick up the thing, they got to bang it against.
You're gonna find they didn't pick up my car completely. Because you jammed stuff in there. That's why they did.
And the handle goes towards the property.
Towards the property, yeah. The handle, the wheels.
And back to the original thing, if people are looking for a job with Miami-Dade County,
yes,
you have some openings right down available. The minimum criteria is they must have
for the drivers, you have to have a CDL. They ask for 2 years of experience driving, and it doesn't have to be with a garbage truck. It can be any type of truck that requires a CDL to drive. They will teach you the specifics of how to drive one of our, the garbage trucks, and how to use the joystick to pick up the carts and stuff like that. But it's a good job.
And men and women.
And women, yes.
All right. And don't mess with those lady truck drivers, because you'll be in big trouble. So that's great. Frank Calderon from Miami-Dade Solid Waste Department. Thank you very much for being here. And we're going to look right over the red camera. Thank you for joining us. Remember, folks, take care of yourselves and your